Hi, this is Matt. Once again, welcome back to another video. This is a paid request for FreddyLit. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, feel free to send it. PayPal or CashApp are best ways to do it. Any type of video, topic, review, re-review, video game playthrough for an hour, a full playthrough, a tier list, a ranking, a topic, commentary, reaction, whatever the case. Like I said, those links are down below in the info box if you wish to. I'll get to as soon as I can. And for those who sent them, thank you. I do appreciate it. And this is for Spring, a 2014 film directed by two folks that I've liked a couple of their films. They did this film called Resolution, which I thought had a very interesting story and some good characters in there. And they had kind of a sequel to it called The Endless. And both I thought were pretty good, story-wise. And on a very different path, they did that segment in VHS Viral Bone Storm where the skateboarders fight the zombies, which I thought was a lot of fun, but very different from what they usually do. I didn't even realize the same people who did that, so... But they did this. And I know Guillermo del Toro is a big fan of this movie. It makes me wonder if he was inspired. I would not be surprised if he was inspired by this film to do The Shape of Water, which came out 2017 and got awards and much more. Because again, that was 2017, this is 2014, and it's a love story involving a person, and who you eventually find out is a monster, or a creature. So I'm like, he's a big fan of this, and then 3 years later he did a film that's also a love story, but monster story as well. Just saying, it's a bit of a coincidence. But this is sometimes labeled a horror film. I think that'd be disingenuous to say. I mean, there is some aspects of like monster bits, and there's a couple of scenes of pretty decent makeup effects in terms of the monster transformations. But it's much, much more of a love story. If anyone ever saw the film Before Sunrise with Ethan Hawke and like those type of movies, it's kind of like if you took that, but you added like a little monster spice to it. And I would say the best part of it is the relationship between the two characters and the chemistry they had with each other. And I think the two actors worked well together. It becomes kind of a decently sweet love story, where you have this guy played by Lou Taylor Pucci, Pucci. He was in the Evil Dead remake. He was the guy who had the glasses, the beard, the crazy hair, and opened up the book. He wasn't supposed to. I know my friend Mike OCP kind of makes fun of that character whenever he thinks of it. Looking very different in this. And hair is gone, clean shaven, no glasses, so I could barely recognize him. But they do a good job establishing an easy cause to root for the guy. His mom dies of cancer. He works at this place. This guy keeps being a dick. Is even going to hit his buddy with a bottle, but he takes care of the guy right away, beats the crap out of him like he deserves. But even though he didn't do anything wrong, in my opinion, he gets fired. So now he doesn't really know what to do. I liked his buddy. His buddy, he was one of the leads in Resolution. Oh, cool to see that guy again, that actor. If you ever seen the film Resolution, the guy that's getting drunk and he's was he handcuffed to? It's been a while since like he's at the place. Again, got beard, everything. Much more of a drinker. He's that guy. Resolution. But anyway, Sally's not in the film too long. But he tries to be a good friend. He has some fun bits of dialogue between him and the lead guy. One leads to another because he gets this inheritance. He gets the idea to just go somewhere, and it leads him to Italy. And there's some really nice shots of Italy, some nice cinematography showcasing the wondrous environments of Italy. And he kind of tries to figure out a path in Italy. Like there's a point he travels with these two guys through Italy. There's this lady that he meets who's all dressed up in red. He finds a place to live where he'll work for the person, and by doing so he gets free lodging. And eventually meets that girl again. And the girl's played by Nadia Hilker. And pretty soon after they have sex. But then this relationship starts. They start seeing little things. Like after they have sex the next morning, she wakes up and goes somewhere. You can tell she's changing. Like her veins are pulsing through her face. And there's this long shot where, sadly, I think it was done in CG. So I thought that was one of the bad shots in the film. It's a very long shot. She's like this big. But I could tell like the way she's moving. There's some kind of digital manipulation. So I didn't think they needed that. And you get the idea that she kills a cat. And there's certain things she can't control. But a lot of it is the love story aspect. Going out with each other, hanging out with each other, looking at paintings. Her getting him to tell her about his family, about his mom and dad, and them dying. And she's like, "Oh, you're like Batman," which makes him laugh. And I thought it was kind of a funny line. And it either goes from him working on the farm and trying to talk with the guy, this older guy, but he only speaks Italian, or going out with this girl. And some may be unsure about how much of a love story it is. If you're expecting much more of a visceral horror angle to it, maybe you'd be disappointed because it's not really going that direction. Like, it's very, very much in the love story aspect. And the horror bits only come out few bits in between. Like there's this douchebag tourist who keeps pressing her and pressing her. "Hey, you prostitute, why you suck my dick?" And then she can't control it, and this reptilian figure, cool looking effect with the makeup, like this reptilian face, but she's got hair and attacks him. Now it's not a gory film, so I say attack, but you don't see anything. You just see an aftermath of where the body's at. And there's some good looking shots. I mean, there's a shot where, like a panning shot where you see this blood trail and it looks like it goes on the wall to the other side of the wall. But the other side of the wall, like down below, is the ocean. That means it had to be something that would be able to climb that. Like kind of nice tracking shot to show the whole vista of this part of Italy. I thought the two leads actually worked well together. I thought they had some pretty good chemistry with each other. And this guy's trying to get her to fall in love with him, but she's like, I don't fall in love with people. I can hang out with people, but I don't fall in love with them. And then you did a bit more of an interesting story where we eventually find out a little bit about the lore of who she is, which is getting more into spoilers. So if you don't want spoilers, I'll stop right now. So it gets to a point where he has to leave where he's at because immigration is there. So he goes to see her. But she's in the middle of a transformation and she's got like octopus parts. From time to time he noticed that she has this needle and she's reaching for it, so he puts the needle in her neck. She returns to human form. And she tells about how she's like 2,000 years old. And every 20 years she needs to get with someone, get pregnant, and then using what's in there, new cells will help her re-evolve. And then she becomes like a new person. But it keeps her immortal. And how if it gets, when it gets to the last portions of this 20 years, her body will fluctuate. And that's why we've been seeing how she's, again, after having sex, her veins are pulsing out, or she's trying to run away and this guy won't leave her alone, being a douchebag, and she lashes out. And then this is pretty much the last 24 hours before she re-evolves, and it's about kind of them hanging out with each other. And she's something about if she does fall in love with someone, she'll be mortal, but she's not going to do that because she's not going to let go of her mortality while the other guy's trying to get her to fall in love with him and admits that he's in love with her. Eventually they go to the ruins of Pompeii, because apparently that's where she's from. And like, that's where my mom and that's where my dad was. And I mean, it was not what I thought it was going to be. Because I thought, honestly, based on the poster, I thought it'd be a bit like Species. Now, granted, I like Species more. That's more of an action, horror angle that is more my cup of tea. But like I said, I thought it was going to be more like that, or those awful Species sequels. But I didn't realize just how much of kind of a decent, sweet love story it was. Because you have you two leads who are working well together. They work well back and forth with each other. And I kind of bond to the fact of, even though it's within, 5 or so days of this whole thing, I kind of get why they fall for each other. And I thought that, and the fact that when she changes, you get, like, each one's unique. Like, there's a bit they're in a church, kind of a funny bit where the guy turns and half her face is kind of screwed up. And she's like, "What, you noticing something?" "Yeah, And a decent bit of suspense where there's this thing that she's not realizing is coming out of her and is like right at the guy back of his neck. And she's not realizing it because her face is messed up and she's trying to get it in. And this thing by itself is like ready to attack, ready to attack. Will it, will it not, will it, will it not? So I thought that was actually, how long it sits on that shot, I thought they did a nice job trying to build some suspense in that scene. Like I said, if you didn't have two leads that were not, if they were not doing a good job, then this would be a, and even then I would say at times it did feel a bit long. I do think there's about 10 or so minutes you could cut out of this. Because I will admit, it got about over halfway through, I went, okay, I'm starting to feel a bit of the time on this. In the end, I thought it was rather sweet. At the end, this is spoilers, where she's supposed to re-evolve when the sun rises, and he stays there and talks with her, and he's been warned that when I do it, make sure to run. And he's talking about love and this and that, and then he hears some changing, looks down, and she looks the same, and that means even though she said she wasn't in love, lo and behold, I guess deep down she really is in love with this guy, because she changed and she's become mortal and stayed to be with this guy. And that's how it ends. Which was kind of a nice little surprise in fact that, sometimes with these movies they want to go with a tragic ending, a tragic love story ending, or he's got to get away from her, or he gives his life because he feels he has nothing to live for. Like, they didn't go with that. I guess you say they went with the safer ending, but they went with the sweeter ending, and I can appreciate that. And I thought the music at the end was a bit nice and subtle and sweet. Nadia, I think sometimes the pacing seems a bit sluggish at times. I think those expecting a bit more of a horror feel may not get what they wanted. If you're looking more for creature action and gore, it's not really the movie for you. If you're looking for more of a species type of movie, this may not be the movie for you. But as it is, if you want to see something that might have been the inspiration for Del Toro's Shape of Water, there has to be something about that. I didn't. Del Toro was a big fan, and he said, "This is one of the best movies I saw that deals with a feeling of H.P. Lovecraft." You know, high praise from. Nah, I don't think it's that amazing, but to be that gung-ho about it, then 3 years later you make a monster love story of your own. I'm like, hey, directors, well, I mean, you can't sue, but no idea. I mean, Shape of Water, you say that goes back to Creature from the Black Lagoon and stuff of that nature. I know. I'm just saying, big convenient timing, you know. But as is, yeah, I thought this was another decent movie from these directors. You know, these directors I do quite like, and it was an interesting enough story. Characters that I got invested with, especially from the beginning with our lead, Lou Taylor Pucci, and wanted to see what would happen to them. And I like they didn't throw any cheap shots. The tone was consistent whether you liked it or not. It didn't just all of a sudden become a different type of movie. Nice Italian locales, locations. And overall, I liked it. I did like it. So, with that said, thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye for now.